Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John. Today I have a new album review by the band Nazareth called Surviving the Law. So the album was released on April 15th, 2022. So in this video, I'll just give a brief description of the band, then I'll talk about the songs, and I'll give my final thoughts and score at the end. So Nazareth is a band from Scotland. They've been around for over 50 years, and their first album was released in 1971. They are best known for the songs like Hair of the Dog, which was covered by Guns N' Roses on their Spaghetti Incident album, and they did a cover of the Everly Brothers song Love Hurts. So the band released 25 albums in their 50-year career, and they are like one of the longest rock bands still active. This version of the band still has founding member Pete Agnew on bass, a newer vocalist Carl Sentence, and he's been with the band since 2015. And the other two members have been in the band since like the 90s. Lee Agnew on drums and Jimmy Merson on guitars. The band has always played heavy rock music, and now the band is playing more like melodic, like arena, hard rock, maybe almost like heavy metal. And the album has 14 songs and a runtime of 48 minutes. So the album opens with Strange Days. It has some heavy riffs, kind of like maybe a little reminiscent of 90s alternative. The vocals are a little different from the original vocalist, of course. More of like an arena rock style. You know, the original vocalist had more of like this like raspy kind of style. So it was pretty good. Has some heavy distorted guitars and a driving drum beat. You Gotta Pass It Around. It's kind of like a slower, hard driving beat. Kind of takes a turn about halfway through. They do like a slight tempo change. Kind of reminds me of like blues rock of like Guns N' Roses. Runaway, this one has like a blues rock vibe. It reminded me a little of like early Aerosmith, hard driving blues rock, catchy melodic chorus, and a blues rock solo, and it moves at a fairly fast pace. Better Leave It Out, and there's another song with an opening riff. Reminded me of Aerosmith, maybe something from like the Toys or the Rocks album. Like the other songs, has melodic vocals and a hard driving rhythm. Mind Bomb, this one was a little more like 80s hair metal with those like metal riffs and soaring vocals and chorus. Reminded me a little of like Deep Purple, but minus the keyboards. And there's one part where they do these like lower register, like kind of like dark vocals. That was cool. Otherwise, it's just straightforward arena rock. Sweet Kiss, this is like blues rock, bringing back the sound. Reminded me of like early Aerosmith. Actually, the vocals, for some reason, reminded me of like Ozzy Osbourne. But anyway, it's slower, there's a cool groove to it, and the song is a cool like blues-based guitar solo. Falling in Love, pretty cool song. Kind of has that like 90s alternative type of sound with heavy electric guitars, and this one has a pretty cool guitar. For the World to End, pretty cool, a groove to it. It's like a hard driving guitar riff, and you hear the bass guitar in this first section pretty well. And also the first time that I did hear bass in the album. Actually, this is more of like a guitar heavy album. Let the Whiskey Flow, pretty cool bluesy Guns N' Roses type of sound. The drumming stood out in the song. They kind of like use a cowbell, and I like the drum beat. And the main guitar riff was pretty cool. Sinner, another one that reminded me of Guns N' Roses. Actually one maybe like a little more than the previous one. The guitar playing reminded me of like Slash, had that particular type of style, and the vocals were kind of like Axl Rose-like, so it was a short 2-minute song. Siggy's and Booze, those ones a little different. It started with like a drum and bass intro, some slower guitar chords. This one has a nice groove to it, and the use of the backing vocals was pretty cool. Psycho Skies has more like an 80s modern rock sound than the guitar intro. The vocals are still the same type of like arena rock vocals, but reminded me a little of like David Bowie for some reason. Love Breaks, very full sound, has those like power chords and hard rock beat. The guitar is pretty good, and I like the guitar interlude on this one. Final song is You Made Me, the longest song at 5 minutes 15 seconds. This one's a little different. They have the Hammond organ playing like this bluesy, like gospel type of sound. This one's very different. It has a slower tempo, nice groove, and I guess this one stood out, but it's not that bad. So in conclusion, again, the album's not that bad. All the songs are under 4 minutes, with the exception of that like 5-minute closer. The album has a nice flow to it. The vocals are very different from the vocals on their earlier stuff, so the original vocalist, Dan McCafferty, had this very unique, like raspy vocal style. Now, To be honest with you, I haven't really listened to any of those albums, in a long time prior to this review. I actually knew the Hair of the Dog album a little bit. So I decided to go back to the Hair of the Dog album just to kind of like refresh my memory about how the band sounds. And that album had a sound closer to like 70s rock, maybe like Southern rock or even like Led Zeppelin. But this new album is very different. It's more like modern, polished arena rock. I thought it was okay. Not a great album, but I am impressed that this band is still, pushing on. They've been around a long time. I'm probably more interested in like their older stuff. Maybe I'll do a partial ranking of like their early albums at some point. But anyway, it's decent. A 7 out of 10 for me. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Up next, Van Halen, Diver Down. That one celebrated an anniversary on the 14th, and I'll be doing that one a little later on, and a few more videos. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Love.